Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Welcome everybody to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I feel hopeful. I feel happy. I feel like, yes, we're turning the corner on this pandemic, and it's just a good day, right? So I want to welcome you, if you're here for the first time, to the Heal Your Hunger Show. This is where we talk about things that don't ostensibly have anything to do with food, but they have to do with life. And what I've learned from over 30 years of being in recovery from emotional eating and helping thousands of women with this problem and doing so much research, what I've learned is that it's not an eating problem, but a living problem. So what we do here on the Heal Your Hunger Show is address the living problem, because that's the only hope, in my experience, of being able to lose weight, keep it off, and live in a happy, thin body. Or be happy about your thin body, whatever. So I want to just say that if you are not quite sure about the term emotional eating, you can actually take a quiz on my website, healyourhunger.com. Go to that quiz. It'll pop up. It's free. Take you 3 minutes to do that quiz, but it'll help you determine if you're an emotional eater or a food addict or somewhere in between. So go to healyourhunger.com, take the quiz, get your personalized score, and then from there, we can determine what steps you need in order to heal. Also, I am actually recording this today in the Secret Sauce group live. What's the Secret Sauce group? Well, it's a Facebook group that's for emotional eaters and people who struggle with food and weight. So go to Secret Sauce to End Emotional Eating in Facebook. Just do a search, join the group, and then you're going to get so much inspiration, so much community with other people who are on the same path of healing. So Secret Sauce to End Emotional Eating. I do many of my podcast recordings live there, including my guest recordings. And so then you can pop in and ask questions, connect. Any news I have about new things coming down the road, you're going to be the first to hear about it also. And speaking of which, coming up soon is the next Quit Sugar Challenge. So if you want to be on the waiting list for that, go to quitsugarchallenge.com and just sign up to be a part of the waiting list so you can get notified right away when we open up the doors for that. Okay, so today's topic is 13 things you don't know about me. And the reason why I decided to do this today is because I've been a little bashful lately, a little fearful about hopping in here. I did the Quit Sugar Challenge, and that was awesome. And that was in January. And then I got super busy with a whole lot of wonderful new clients, and we've just been rocking it out and Heal Your Hunger. And you know how it is when you don't do something you're used to doing that's maybe a little hard or challenging. The more you put it off, the harder it is to get back into it. Well, that's true for jumping on here and recording live and doing a podcast that's just me, not me interviewing guests or being the interviewer, but just me here talking to you. So thanks for your support. It's time to jump back in and face those fears. And that's really what overcoming emotional eating is about, isn't it? Not letting fear buffalo us, not letting fear call the shots. So I'm here with my lemon head t-shirt on. So I thought this was appropriate for the day. And I want to tell you 13 things you don't know about me because, hey, why not? So I thought this might be an easy way for me to get back in the swing of just kind of riffing a little bit and talking to you. So the first thing is something you may know about me if you've been listening to my podcast or if you're in my program. But for the rest of you, you may not know that I, Tricia Nelson, have eaten out of the garbage. Okay, so this is only something I would really share among other emotional eaters because I think some of you might relate. So, in back in the day when I was a binge eater, which I was, oh my goodness, I would get all my goodies. I'd get cookies and ice cream and chips because you have to have salty with the sweet and whatever else. And I'd get those foods and or maybe I'd bake something and I'd have ice cream to go with cookies or brownies and have ice cream to go with it. Anyway, I'd sit in front of the TV. I'd eat. I wasn't planning on binging. Of course, I ate what I ate, and then I got seconds, and then I went back for more. And before you know it, I had eaten so much food and felt completely sick. And this is when I just felt disgusted, and I thought, I'm never eating that food again. That's disgusting. It felt so gross. So I would go back in the kitchen, and I would grab the rest of anything that I couldn't possibly fit in my stomach anymore, and I'd throw it out. And I think to myself, I'm never eating that crap again. Like, that's disgusting to me. But then I'd pass out on the couch for a few hours or go to bed. And after some time had passed, I wasn't as stuffed. And so I'd go back and I'd remember those cookies I'd thrown out that I didn't finish, and I'd go get them. So no, I didn't do dumpster diving. That's not what I mean when I say I ate out of the garbage, but I did retrieve trash, that foods I had thrown in the trash and ate them. And I have to tell you, I felt so completely ashamed by that behavior. And I thought I was the only one. Well, as I got online with Heal Your Hunger several years ago, I reenacted that garbage eating scenario on a YouTube video. It's a long time ago. And it actually garnered over about 60,000 hits. So there were two different, I put it out twice. So between the two, about 60,000 hits and dozens of comments like, oh my God, I've done that too. So apparently I'm not the only one. And it's good I did the video because other people got to see they're not the only one either. So that's something you may not have known about me. And if this is something you've done, please put it in the chat. I want this to be an interactive experience. So if you're watching in the Secret Sauce group, just let's have some comments in the chat. Let me know I'm not alone. Okay, I already told you I was a binger, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more. This is the second thing you don't know about me. I was a violent binger. What do I mean by that? What I mean is my binging got so bad that I would binge in a violent way where I would eat so much food. It felt like an assault on my body. Like, it was harmful. It was hurtful. It was abusive. So I was a violent binger. I didn't just go overboard on the chips, eat the whole bag of chips. No. I'd eat a whole bag of popcorn, 2 or 3 pints of ice cream, candy, Cliff bars. I mean, I ate a lot of crap, and it was so bad and it was so uncomfortable that I just thought to myself, I am abusing myself. I am violent. Like, if I were with a violent lover who hit me, I don't know that it would be any different than the treatment I just perpetrated on myself. So that's what I mean by a violent binger, not just a binger, but a violent binger. And maybe you've had that experience too. If so, let me know. Number 3, this is really embarrassing. I used to wear, this is before Spanx. Okay. So this is before Spanx. Thank God for Spanx. Such a beautiful, wonderful thing for those of us who, might be wanting to cover up some rolls, or smooth out that muffin top. So what I used to do, I really should have been the one to create Spanx, frankly, because what I used to do in high school, because I was overweight and obsessed with my weight, and I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to be popular with boys. What I would do is I would cut off the control top part of my pantyhose. So, control top pantyhose, I would buy those, I'd wear them. And then when I got a run in them, I wouldn't throw them out. I'd cut off the pantyhose part and keep the control top, and I'd wear it like as a little mini girdle. So I thought of Spanx first. Let's be clear. I just never thought to do anything with that idea. So I wore my own version of Spanx growing up because I was so disgusted with my rolls of fat and cellulite. And literally in high school, I was doing this. So yeah, I was in pain at a very early age with my emotional eating and the the effects of my emotional eating. Number 4 of things you don't know about me, I am messy in certain places, and my office is one of them. The rest of my house is okay. Get a little few piles here and there of a little bit of mail or papers I don't know what to do with. But generally, if somebody's coming over, I put it all in my office. So I end up having these stacks of paper in my office. Now, you might have heard recently me interview my professional organizer, Jessica Ritz, and she's amazing. And so she would help me with my piles of paper. So because I have this messy problem, this clutter problem that I contain somewhat, not completely. I wish my house were neater, but it's it's passable. But boy, oh boy, I have a war zone, a construction zone, kind of a real mess in my office where I just put everything. I put everything that, I cleaned off from other counters in my house. So this is kind of a place of shame for me. I don't beat myself up about it anymore. I hired Jessica several years ago. She's helped me. I was really crabby at first because I felt so embarrassed that I even needed somebody to come help me with my mess. I thought that's just terrible, shameful, but I've gotten over that. And I'm like, so what, And so, but I have this messiness. It's still there. Jessica hasn't been here in a year, unfortunately, to help me. I could hire her to do it over Zoom. But I love it when she comes and does it for me. I will confess. So anyway, that is one of the things that you may not know about me, because I certainly don't show you my mess when I'm on Zoom, but I'm telling you about it now. The 5th thing you don't know about me is I am a procrastinator. Okay. So I don't like to use I am statements with something negative. So I have been a procrastinator. I'm getting better at it. I don't want to affirm that for myself, but it's been a struggle for me. I mean, as far back as 3rd grade, in 3rd grade, we had to do these projects on a state. You had to pick a state. I picked Oklahoma because that's where I was born. I'm very proud of being born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yay, Okies. And so I picked Oklahoma as my state project. And on the day it was due, I was not finished. I had to stay over in school, stay later. My mother had to come pick me up. We had a conversation, a little discussion with my teacher and my mother and me about what happened, like why I didn't get this done. This was 3rd grade. 3rd grade, I was having issues with procrastination, and it just got worse from there. So in high school, when I had papers due, I'd wait till the last minute. I'd pull an all-nighter. I'd get all my candy bars and my coffee, and I'd pull an all-nighter. I can't imagine that candy was helpful for my brain as I'm trying to think and write a paper, but same thing in college. So procrastination has been a big thing for me. And it's fear, it's delaying uncomfortable feelings. Like I don't want to feel the uncomfortable feelings of sitting down and focusing and pushing through something I don't want to do. So that's little thing you might not know about me. The 6th thing is this is kind of related actually to the procrastinating. The 6th thing is I only like to do things that are fun. So I'm kind of a party girl. I'm kind of like, I like to laugh. I like to play. I like to be silly. And if it's fun, you can count me in. If it's not fun, I don't want to do it. So I will procrastinate. So there's where the procrastination comes in. So I have to push myself to do things. And I also have other people in my life to help hold me accountable. I have coaches, I hire coaches, I'm a coach to other people to help them stay accountable with really healing from emotional eating. But I have coaches too, because they hold me accountable. So I will tend to put off things that are uncomfortable, and my coaches will help me stay accountable to pushing through and doing things that aren't so fun. So I have a little balance. I'm doing the things that need to be done, even though they're not fun. And then I get to do the things that are fun. Number 7, I forgive easily. This is a beautiful quality. I'm grateful for it. I think this is something I was bred with because my parents were that way too. My parents were, they didn't have all 4 tires on the pavement, but one of the things they were really good at is forgiveness. Especially my mother. She let things just roll off her back. She didn't hold grudges. Beautiful quality. And she's still that way to this day. But I also learned this from Roy, my mentor. He has this beautiful quality of forgiveness. He loves people, and especially if somebody apologizes. I mean, apologies are so wonderful because they soften people's hearts. Like if you've offended somebody, if you own it, take responsibility for it, apologize, it's just so easy to forgive. So of course it's easier for me to forgive if people take responsibility and apologize. But if they apologize, man, I'm all over that. It's done. It's just done. We're moving on. If people don't apologize, it's a little harder, but I think I do a pretty good job of just knowing that hurt people, and there's usually a reason for it. If somebody is hurtful or neglectful or inconsiderate, I think I'm pretty good at just seeing and having compassion for where that person might be and where that might have come from. So I like that about myself. Number 8, in high school, when I was 16 years old, I was a car mechanic in Spain. That's probably something you definitely don't know about me. So I was a car mechanic in Spain. What the hell was I doing being a car mechanic in Spain? Well, I was in a school that was a private boarding school, and there was a girl there from Spain. Her mother put together this program that allowed people from my school to go over there in the summertime and have a job in that small town that she was sort of queen of in some respects. She literally was related to royalty, but she was sort of the matriarch, I guess, of this town. And she put together this program. It's sort of an exchange program. And there were all these different jobs I could choose from. And I thought, well, I'd like to learn how to take care of cars. I was kind of a feminist, back in the 80s. And I thought, I want that skill. So I was a car mechanic in this little Ford dealership shop. It was just a small little shop. And 4 brothers owned it, a father and then 4 brothers. And I had put on my blue overalls every day, and I went to work, and I was a grease monkey, and I learned how to change oil and change tires and, spark plugs. And I did it all in Spanish. So yeah, that was kind of a crazy thing I did. But hey, after that, I was able to change my own oil for a long time until I decided I was more of a princess than a car mechanic, and I'd prefer somebody do it instead of me. So that I graduated from that. Number 9, I sing out loud on my walks. So I just went for a walk this morning, and I do, again, if you know me, I pray out loud. I say my prayers when I walk. So I do what I call a walk pray, and I pray out loud. But sometimes I'll just turn on my Pandora. I have my earbuds in, and I'll turn on Pandora, and I'll play great dance music. And then I will just sing at the top of my lungs outside. And I don't really care who hears me. So, I mean, if somebody's directly walking by me, I'll shut up. But otherwise, you might be down the street and be like, what is that? And it's me singing. So it just brings me so much joy to sing and walk, and to listen to great music. It's an instantaneous mood changer. So if you're feeling glum, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling negative, go outside, take a walk, put your earbuds in, and turn on your favorite happy music, and it will change your state. Number 10, I was in a 31-year relationship that ended in 2019. So again, if you've been listening, you know that. But if you have, just happened upon the Heal Your Hunger show, and in the Secret Sauce group, yeah, I was my entire adult life in a monogamous relationship with somebody. So it's a long time. It was really long. I don't regret any of it. Not that it was all fun. It wasn't. There were a lot of hard times, hard places in that relationship. I'm still in relationship with this person. He was my mentor, and then he was my husband. But our relationship's different now. I learned a lot. I sort of grew beyond that relationship. Like I developed personally to the point where I felt like I could be free from it, and evolve beyond it. Not that I'm above or beyond this person, but it was no longer a fit for me. And so I left, and That was a couple years ago now. And I have to tell you, it's been a journey for sure. So it's a big part of my life. Like that relationship was a very pivotal one for me. I mean, he saved my life, and some, not to be dramatic, but I was suffering with this condition of emotional eating and couldn't lose weight, couldn't stop binging no matter what I tried. I mean, I went to OA, I went to other 12-step programs. I read self-help books. I went to intensive eating disorders therapy. Nothing helped me until I met him and he helped me. So I'm very indebted to him. And my clients hear a lot about little Roy-isms, things that I share during my coaching. But I'm also so grateful for how far I've come to the point where I decided to leave that relationship. So I've said before, the hardest thing in my life, the most important decision in my life rather, was getting into that relationship. And the second most important decision of my life was getting out of that relationship. So there you have it. Number 11, after being in that relationship, about 6 months later, I tippy-toed into online dating. I tried the dating apps, and that was crazy. It was crazy, but I loved it. It was so interesting to me. This is all new to me. Again, my entire adult life, I didn't date. I literally didn't even barely know how to date. And so going on those dating apps I felt like a Martian who just landed on Earth. But it was, what I knew about that experience is that it was so much more about me and my relationship with myself than it was about anybody or finding anybody. I mean, I didn't really care, frankly. I was curious and hungry for the experience of meeting people and really getting to know myself and what I like and what I don't like, and, voicing these things, being clear in my communication with people. And it really was a beautiful experience. But I had to know myself first. So had I done that without all the work I'd done over the past several decades, it could have been a real mess, to date. I had to know myself first, and I had to be clear about who I am. But it did bring me more clarity just through the process of, kind of getting to know my preferences, so it was a good experience for me. A lot of people complain and moan about dating and how hard it is to find somebody. And I just have to say that, again, when you do that inner work, when you dig deep and you do the inner work, when you clear out the misconceptions you have about yourself, the delusions that we have about ourselves, then you're not deluded about other people, and you can have clear and conscious communication and relationships. Number 12. Oh my gosh, this has taken 50 plus years. I don't care what people think anymore. I just don't care, and it's not that I entirely don't care. I do care, and I care about how people feel. I don't want to be hurtful to anybody or cause anybody to feel bad, but I have to tell you that I absolutely just have been freed from this concern about what other people think of me. And as an emotional eater, it's the number one trait. People pleasing and obsessing about what people think is the number one trait of emotional eaters. And I was the worst offender. And what freedom I have now, again, from so much work and so much healing, that I just don't care. And I think turning 50 had something to do with it also. I just stopped caring. Like, life's too short to be concerned about what other people think of me. I need to follow my heart, do the best I can. Every day I align with spirit through meditation and prayer and spiritual readings, and all the other tools that I teach my clients to do as well. And when I'm aligned, I follow my heart. I use my head, and I throw off any concern about other people's thoughts of me. It's such a waste of time and such a waste of energy. And 13, the last one of things you don't know about me, although you may know about this about me, but I'm one of the happiest people I know. And I'm not afraid to say that. I'm one of the happiest people I know. I am filled with so much joy and so much love. And it's pretty consistent these days. I'm going to knock on wood. a little bit of superstition there, but it's just pretty consistent, like every day. And all the things I do to stay healthy and all the things I teach my clients, and the fact that I get to teach my clients, the fact that I get to meet with my clients twice a week on our group coaching calls, they bring me so much joy. But everything combined, all the things I've learned, all the ways I've grown, all the ways I've cleared out everything that's not love and joy inside of me and my psyche, in my thoughts. I just really like the person I am now. And it's taken years, of course, but I like the person I am. And I am pretty unapologetic about the person that I am. And I just have a lot of joy and happiness on account of the life that I live. And, as I said in the beginning, this is really not an eating problem, but a living problem. And there's a lot about my living that I like now, and it's serving me and it makes me happy. So that's what I love teaching. And if you want some of that, please reach out, because you can have that too. You can absolutely fall in love with yourself and be happy and purposeful and spread joy and light wherever you go. So those are the 13 things you didn't know about me. Thank you for obliging me as I jumped back into sharing with you here in the Secret Sauce group and on the Heal Your Hunger show. I just love you so much, and I'm so grateful, anytime I get to connect with you. So please reach out if you want to connect, and if you want to be on this path of healing emotional eating, because it's an amazing process. It's not about the food. So it's like you heal the food and the emotional eating, and then you get all this other great stuff too. So it's a beautiful journey. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, and join me next time. Okay. Thank you. Please comment below in the Secret Sauce group. I'd love to keep the conversation going. What things do we not know about you that you want to share? We'd love to see it, and comment and keep the conversation going. So thank you. I love you, and have a great day.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.